The RMS Titanic, a British passenger liner, was one of the most luxurious and largest ships of its time. It was designed to provide opulent accommodations for both first-class and lower-class passengers. The ship embarked on its maiden voyage from Southampton, England, on April 10, 1912, with stops scheduled in Cherbourg, France, and Queenstown, now Cove, Ireland, before heading to New York City. The Titanic was equipped with advanced safety features, including watertight compartments and an extensive network of bulkheads intended to prevent the ship from sinking even if multiple compartments were breached. The ship carried a total of around 2,224 passengers and crew members. On the night of April 14, 1912, the Titanic struck an iceberg at around 11:40 p.m. ship's time. The iceberg scraped along the starboard side of the ship, puncturing several compartments and causing flooding. The ship's crew was initially unaware of the full extent of the damage. Despite the efforts to assess the situation, it became clear that the ship was sinking rapidly. The captain, Edward J. Smith, gave the order to uncover and load the lifeboats. However, there were only enough lifeboats for about half of the passengers and crew. As the ship's angle increased due to the flooding, the crew began to evacuate passengers onto the lifeboats. Women and children were given priority, resulting in a chaotic and distressing scene on the deck. The ship's wireless operators sent out distress calls to nearby ships, including the SS Californian and the RMS Carpathia. At 2:20 a.m. on April 15, 1912, the Titanic sank beneath the icy waters of the North Atlantic Ocean. Over 1,500 passengers and crew members lost their lives in the disaster, primarily due to the lack of lifeboats and the frigid temperatures of the water. The RMS Carpathia, which received the Titanic's distress signals, arrived on the scene and rescued over 700 survivors from lifeboats and life rafts. The disaster prompted widespread shock and grief around the world. Families awaited news of their loved ones, and memorial services were held in various countries. Investigations into the sinking were launched on both sides of the Atlantic. The inquiries revealed a lack of adequate lifeboats, insufficient safety procedures, and ineffective communication between the crew and passengers. The tragedy led to significant changes in maritime safety regulations. The International Convention for the Safety of Life at Sea, SELAS, was established to implement stricter safety measures, including the requirement for sufficient lifeboats for all passengers and crew. The sinking of the Titanic remains one of the most iconic and tragic events in history, highlighting the consequences of overconfidence, inadequate safety measures, and the loss of innocent lives. It continues to capture the imagination of people through literature, films, and documentaries, preserving the memory of those who perished on that fateful night of April 14, 1912.